Okay, so today we're going to be working on these little guys to start off with. On the inside of these we're going to have, well, there's going to be little copper coils on the inside, and then we're going to have these little copper pieces with little silver plated buttons or whatever the case. I found an easy way to get those out. Contactor switches, I believe that's what they're called. A comment in one of my previous videos, someone told me about these, and that's what they're called. Yeah, so basically we got a whole pile of them right here to deal with. That's just tin shred, but there's a whole pile of them right here to deal with right now. So what we're going to do is open one and show you guys how that's done. Basically, I'm using this little hook tool, and there's a little metal tab on each side, right there and here. Boom. And then there's like a little lever switch right here that helps remove the half that you don't want. See, on the inside of this is where the copper coil is. Pops out like that. There it is. Smash that open for the copper. Boom. Easy enough, right? You get a decent little ball of copper out of each one. And this is going to be the other half that has the contactor switches on it. See, I found out, take a hatchet to it, just a little, just like easily, like don't overkill it, overswing it. You'll make this plastic explode everywhere, but for the most part, a couple of taps gets them loose. See that? How they all almost just basically fell out of there. For the most part anyways. There's going to be a couple here and there that are going to require more swings, but really doing that a couple of times, and then just kind of let them build up right here in a pile. See, there's all the contactor pieces with potentially silver, apparently. So that's what we're doing. We're going to do that times 30. Okay, so now what we have is these little copper nuggets that I'm going to smack open with a hammer, and you get about a ball of copper out of each one, about that size. And then we have a pile of these little contactors that have, well, little screws on there, and then there's little silver buttons, allegedly silver buttons. I don't have any test solution to test the stuff or any of that. I don't have that as it is, but we're gonna process these now, these little doohickeys. So just a swing with the hammer each should usually get these free here. See, smack the plastic up off of them real quick, and then you got your number 2 copper, just like that. Nice. They stretch right apart. Make them look like that, we can sell it. That's fine. Make sure we rip these screws up off of there. I'm sure they don't want to see a bunch of screws in the copper, obviously. A couple of good smacks on each side. It gets it right clean. Watch this ball of copper grow right here. See? Anyways, to me, let's say it feels like that's 4 pounds of copper, number 2, right there. So that paid me like 20 bucks, maybe a little bit more, 25 bucks. And this amount of copper chunkies, they still need to get cleaned up. They got screws on them. Even if I were to sell them as number 2 copper, I'd have to hold off because I'm gonna, you know, what the reasoning why I tore these down is that there's supposedly silver on there, and I just don't need to really hear that in the comments saying I'm throwing silver away in the tin shred because I didn't break these down fully. But either way, I feel like there's probably about 2.5 pounds of copper there and 4 pounds of number 2 copper we can stuff in our bin right now. We're gonna do that right there, which is nice to add on to that. So now what I'm gonna end up doing with this stuff is I'm just gonna throw it in a bucket or something and save it, I guess. That's what we're gonna do with it. Somebody said in the comments maybe I should give these to somebody that'll break them down for me, and then they'll just return it to me like this without screws, like clean, and then I can process it from there. I might do that. If I could probably pay somebody to do that for me and break it down to that point to where I can separate the silver and the copper and then scrap it that way, I could see that being worth it. But honestly, I don't think I'm going to sit here breaking down contactor switches after contactor switches and then little breakers out of panels and stuff. I don't think I'm going to sit around and just do that, because I got a lot of other things I need to do other than that. So moving forward, I'm considering making a bucket specifically for breakers and contactors and stuff like that I'm gonna give to somebody, and then they can break it down if they want. If they don't want to do it, then I don't have a reason to hang on to them, because I don't think I'm going to be sitting around smashing these open with a hammer all day. That just doesn't, that's not paying my bills doing that right away, you know. Like, that's just making a category that I can't process because it takes more processing to process it to get any kind of value out of it at that point. I can't afford to do that. Maybe as a hobby scrapper, this would be something that you'd want to do, but I scrap metal every day. I scrap metal every day. So if I did this 3-4 hours out of the day, that's all I made today, because I didn't have to go edit that. You see what I'm getting at? But either way, nonetheless, how long did this take us to do all those? That took us 40 minutes to get 4, 5, 6, to get like 6 pounds of copper. That wasn't worth it. No. Now, if I was just after those coils, I would have been done way faster. If I was just after this stuff that we did right here, I would have had that time cut in half. I would have been done in maybe 20 minutes and had been all right with $25 worth of copper in the number 2 bin. But that's if I'm taking the other half of it and throwing it right into breakers and just selling it as plugs and breakers, see? But yeah, it takes a lot of time to break this stuff down. And then I got a bunch of screws right there to mess with. I can't pay my bills with that right away, can I? No. That doesn't cut any kind of cheese. I still have to sit here for another 20 minutes to clean that up to be able to even move it along into the next process to recover the silver from the copper. In my head, that sounds like another hour's worth of work. There goes 2 hours out of the day and an hour and a half of video editing. That's half of my work day. Yeah. See, there's a reason why I don't do it. That's my reason. Because I could have been blasting boxes of wire and copper up on the bench, getting that stuff done, filling up my bags and my buckets, and then turning it in. But I spent time on this, see? And I'm explaining it right now. You see what I mean? So yeah, it's like... Yeah. It's just about as inefficient as me going and taking my truck to go pick up tin shred and spending over half of that tin shred value in fuel just to go get it. That makes just as much sense as tearing these down, which is doesn't make much sense to me. But if I knew somebody that could process 200-300 pounds of breakers in an hour and can streamline that process and get this stuff back to me, then it's worth it. I don't have that ability. I don't have a setup to process that much, and I don't get enough breakers in to be able to do that. I mean, over the course of the summer I get a lot of breakers, I do, but it's just, to my understanding, from what I'm seeing from my point of view, is that breaking this stuff down to this point isn't worth it financially to me when I have other things to be doing. You're still talking hours of processing that I didn't even have time to get it down to that part right there. See, I didn't even have the time to do it, to get it down to this. That still needs to be cleaned. There's a bunch of steel all over it. You guys want to watch another hour and a half of me pulling screws off of that and then figuring out how to... Where we got a torch, you got to torch each one of these to get the button off. So I got to hold it like that and then burn a bunch of propane and then burn the button off and then recycle the button with acid. Yeah, that's still 2 or 3 different actions to even get the copper content that's off of that. Let alone refining the silver and cleaning the tin shred off of this. No, it doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, it's cool. It's silver. It's cool. It's silver. Yeah, that's cool. I don't have the capability to process hundreds and hundreds of pounds of these. If I did, then I'd consider it, but I can't do that in a quick fashion to make it worth it. That would take too long. That's why that stuff goes in the plugs and breakers, man. That's what I do with it. But we broke it down that far and we're talking about it. I'm thinking about the possibilities of being able to recover silver and copper from that. I'm thinking about it. I'm not seeing it, dude. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, you could say in the comments, well, you could just stop talking about it and then start doing it, and then yeah, okay. I can't edit 3-4 hours of footage on just doing that when we have all of this. We have all this to do. I want to keep clearing out the yard. That's what's on my mind. Going out and picking up tin shred, that's not on my mind at all. Processing small stuff like that, that's not on my mind at all. Processing the non-ferrous metals that I do have here and getting it out of my way, for God's sake, that's my priority. You know, that's my priority. You can just forget about me taking my truck and going and getting tin shred. Some people are telling me, just get a truck. Like, I'm just saying, it's like, it's the new viewers that are watching that don't understand that I have a car and a truck. I purposely choose the car. You know, look in this description below, and I'm going to list a few videos that I made in the past that's specifically about the topics of why I only pick certain types of metals to scrap, what I'm out there hunting for, why I don't pick up tin shred while I'm driving my car grabbing non-ferrous. There's different reasons for these things that you guys clearly aren't really seeing, and that's okay though. It's very obvious that I can pick up more non-ferrous metals than I know what to do with. Why would I go grab the pennies on the dollar when I can get non-ferrous metal and be able to work here and create videos and then scrap it and do scrapyard runs and go dumpster diving and repeat, and then do all the video editing and uploading so you guys can watch it. There's no room, there's no time or room to pick up tin shred. There's no room or time to break these little things down. You know what I mean? It's too tight of a niche. I can't just work on breakers. That makes my window of opportunity for my YouTube channel very small. When you focus on a certain small thing like this, like breakers, or say specifically going and picking up tin shred or this or that, I pick up the non-ferrous metals that pay the most so I can scrap it, make videos about it, and pay my bills. Yeah. There is times where I would pick up tin shred. That's if I find that's if I find 3,000 to 4,000 pounds of it at a time. Then I'll go get it. That's when tin shred's worth it. But driving around aimlessly looking for just anything is not how I roll. I don't do that. I plan my dumpster dive strategically to pick up the things that pay the most. And if I find a good amount of shreddies on the way, I could double back with my truck and go get it. If there's enough to make money on. If there's enough to make it worth it. Yeah. So there's a list of videos below in this description that I want you guys to see, the newer viewers that are asking me why I don't take a truck out dumpster diving or this or that. These videos are going to explain to you in detail why I do what I do, instead of answering them every day, which can get very frustrating because I got a lot of other things I got to be doing throughout the day, obviously, to make daily videos happen. Explaining these things now mean a lot to me because it's going to help me down the road, answering questions that I don't need to keep answering over and over and over again. You know, and bottom line, I don't take my truck driving aimlessly picking up tin shred because it's not worth the gamble. It's not worth the gamble. Not worth the gamble. That's my perspective. That's what I think. Okay, you guys can go do whatever you want. You know, you can go grab it with your truck. Do what you do. I'm gonna do what I do. Picking up large amounts of non-ferrous metals and bringing home a carload and processing it and turning it into the scrapyard, and it's going to unfold into a whole bunch of other different videos over the course of this summer. It's just, these are some of the things that I want to clear now and get out of the way, because if anybody says, why don't you just go get, why don't you just go use your truck, I'm just going to refer a video to you to watch that answers it. And if you don't want to watch it, that's on you. I don't need to answer them comments like that all the time. I don't have time for that. I don't. I have absolutely zero patience for that kind of question, because I've explained it over and over again in my videos. I have 600 videos, and some of those 600 videos explain this over and over and over. So there'll be a video link below in the description if you have a question that is something along the lines of, why are you using a car or truck, or why aren't you breaking down the small stuff? I got answers for all that in the videos previous, but they're in the description below. I'm gonna add a few. So the people that are curious, that are wondering, that I unfortunately don't have enough time to answer those kind of comments, your answers will be in those videos that I am trying to show you right now in the description below. Okay? Okay. I'll be throwing breaker boxes, wires, this, that, and the other thing. Big piles of it up here. We're going to process that stuff down, and we're going to have a good scrap run coming up this Saturday. Today is Wednesday. We go out to the concrete jungle. My main goal is to get the car empty from that 19-minute video that you guys seen just yesterday. And we're going to start sorting out all our categories that we have here. We have a lot of stuff to go through. We're going to start going through it. Unfortunately, breakers right now, I have to put them on the back burner. When I get breakers, they're going right into the plugs and breakers bucket, because that's where I put them. That's how I sell them. So, yeah. All right. Thank you. Okay. I'm still prioritizing getting all the tin shred items that are up out of here, too. That is one other main thing. Like these breaker boxes. I want to get these breakers and stuff out of my way. Peel the copper bus bar off of this, right? And continue on and keep moving. There. Little handful number 2 copper. Beautiful. I like that. All the rest can just go to tin shred. I'm done with that. Yeah, or I could struggle to get the little bit of aluminum wire out of it, one or the other, but I choose not to do that and just move on. All right. Number 2 copper. Rest is tin shred. We're gonna move on from that now. Got some pop cans. Good old pop cans. It's aluminum. Whoop. MLC is what we call this. I'm gonna have to cut that. That's fine. Copper breakage for that bad boy. You see how I'm doing that? Anything that's gonna take a significant amount of time, I have a category set for it, so I don't have to waste my time on it. Number 1 copper. It's very important that you value your time in this business. I have to get that free. It's a piece of brass right there. Beauty. Just enough to crack the plastic off of it. Aluminum wire right there. What do we got here? cast aluminum. But either way, everybody's got their own way of scrapping. My way is set up so you can move a lot of non-ferrous goods. So you don't have to, you know, you can stand in one place for a long period of time and continue sorting all the scrap items that you do have. That's one of the other reasons why I'm set up like this. It's a stainless steel, sure is. Oh yeah, ROMX. There's a piece of, well, that's dirty. Number 2 copper for that. You got little rubber seals in there. Copper breakage. Yeah. Pick out those nice machine wires. Wow. That's the first time I've seen all aluminum ROMX. That's all aluminum ROMX wire right there. Goes right in aluminum wire. I never seen ROMX that was like that before. That's different to me. Machine wire right there. This is basically about to be comm wire. That's machine wire. Comm wire right here. Yep. Piece of light wire in the mix. A couple other things there. Yeah. BX wire. Oy. That's a good one though. Yeah. All right then. Flat wire. Piece of brass. Oop, that was plastic. That can go in a garbage bag. Which we have. We have a garbage bag right here. See? Yeah. Throw more up on the bench now and keep it moving. Fill up our bins. Beauty. Another good little pile right here. It's good machine wire, but there's some double insulated wire. You gotta pick out of that. That's what I do. I save all my machine wire for later on in the summer. I process it all at once. With a machine. And that helps me be able to focus more on the scrap that I have to sort here, instead of picking days where I'm going to strip this wire. I can save the time and just do it all at once later on down the road. And that's definitely what I would do. Or spend the time and strip it out. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm letting you know how I do things. Machine wires. I really do appreciate y'all watching. I really do. sometimes life can get a little stressful, but we move on and we keep moving forward, keep going. I can't let the comment section get me down, dude. I don't have time for that. I'm going nowhere but up from here. That's for sure. A lot of exciting things going to be happening here in the future with this channel. More than just scrap metal. Promise you that. I love scrap metal. I love recycling. I love it. But I love a lot of other things in life too. And I'll be doing that on YouTube. That's my personal choice. There'll still be scrap metal content, but there'll be other things too, because it's my channel. Merchant Metals, man. We do more than scrap. For sure. Good machine wire right there. But you guys see how I'm sorting this stuff effortlessly, right? With all the categories I have around me. There's a reason why I have it set up like this. So I can actually get stuff done and work on the non-ferrous categories that I've pre-selected for myself. For all the new subscribers and viewers that are, you know, that are bleeding into my channel and starting to watch me, if you guys have any questions that you feel that could be answered, go ahead and ask them through the comments. Usually my loyal fan base will help answer them for me, because they also know that I am a very busy man, very busy, and you know, I try to keep up with videos daily, so getting in the comment section is hard for me to do at times. But typically I try to get back to my comments every 48 hours. Within that 48 hours I have 2 video uploads coming up, you know? So there's a lot to do. A lot to sort, a lot to go get dumpster diving, you know? Might I add, we save all this stuff from dumpsters that go to landfills. All these wires and stuff. You know, I'm very blessed to be able to have the amount that I have to work on constantly. That is a blessing. It also feels like a curse sometimes. I'm sure there's people out there that could resonate with me in ways like that. You ever had something in life be too much for you to handle? I've been there. But believe me, I stay busy and I work hard. That's something I can promise you. I might not have the right unit here for this. I don't think it might. I don't think it's this one. Heck no. This one. This gets annoying, see? I'm doing this for some copper contacts in here. The time it took me to clean that makes me want to just say that wasn't worth it. Doesn't feel like it was. Oh yeah. Make it hard. Oh, it's all riveted together too. Yeah, you can go that way. See, that wasn't worth it. Next time I see something like that, I'm throwing it right out of my direction and just sell it as whatever category she lands into. Let's throw more on the bench now, though. Yeah, more on the bench. That doesn't have to go up there. I want to get this garbage can emptied out. All the stuff that's in this garbage can. Yeah, all that stuff I want done. These are going to go straight into aluminum breakage. I'm not having these no more. I'm fine on that. For anybody that has ran across those, they can be seriously frustrating to take apart. Unless they're like this, I'll be able to sell that as number 9 if it's broke down like that, but I'm not gonna break them down. They can go there, and then I could be done with it. Sell it as aluminum breakage. Yep, those light fixtures are not my cup of tea. I don't like taking them apart. So I don't have to. That's just breakage. You can find out what's going on with these boxes. Some pretty heavy duty wire leading to them. So there's some goodies that we could probably scrap on those. That's tin shred right there. And there's a bit, Phillips bit right there. I'll take that. Sweet. Pop cans. Phillips bit, tin shred. Okay, not a whole lot going on inside there. Pull these bits of wires. What we can, anyway. What we can within a reasonable time. Sell that all as machine went. All that good. Good enough. You can bop that out of there. A little bit of copper inside that unit. We just tore down a bunch of those. The rest of this is tin shred to me. Throw that up there for now. We're going to want to keep moving. Keep the bench moving. Light wires. There's some thicker cable. Got to cut these lens off. Shawoop. Light wire. Cut that off there. Don't need none of this stuff. Light wire. That's aluminum enough. Go right in the cast aluminum on that bad boy. Next. Okay, some more of those little copper pieces there. Let's use the grinder on this, get it done. There. I'm tin shredding the rest. Done. We got some pop cans. And I'm already tired of clipping these little machine wires out. I'm going for the big cheese. Which is right here. Right here's big cheese. Figure out how it pulls off of there. There. Inside that's a little bit of copper. Copper. Another contactor switch. Okay. Tin shred. Oh, cut that wire first. There's so much to catch up on, it makes my stomach hurt. That's why we work like this right now. And then tonight we're supposed to go pick up more. It's Wednesday. See what I'm getting at? Light wire. It's good. It's thick wire, it's heavily insulated. That's why it's still classed as a light wire. Very insulated. Very much insulated. So, light wire show, whoop, done. 2 tapas. This one has a fair amount of machine wire in it. Depends on how long you want to take to clip this stuff out of there. Typically me, not that long. I don't want to spend that long on that. Yeah. It's only worth it if you have time for it. Just take that in consideration, right? I have enough time for that, and then tin shred. Done. So whoop. and then it's done, and it's done, and it's out of my way, and it's out of sight, out of mind. I feel better. I feel better now because this stuff is getting recycled instead of landfilled, and I'm the one that made that difference happen. No matter which way I scrapped it, right? Pretty sure that's right. That's essentially comm wire right there. What kind of wire is that? That's light wire. That's all light wire. Comm wire. Light wire. But either way, I've built this sorting system to where I can sort scrap and not even think about where it goes, because I know where it goes. More like a muscle memory deal. But look at that. We're ready. We're ready for more up on the bench. Right? Right. 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 Let's go get more. Let's empty we're gonna empty the car out now, okay? Because we got an empty bucket. This is just the stuff from the one spot we hit last night. Just the one spot, you know? I'm gonna pull that aluminum out. We're not gonna put that in the trash can. My fishing pole. Fluorescent lights. Oy! These are basically garbage, those bulbs. Sump motors. Sumper, sumper. We most definitely need to be going through the car and doing a clean out. Maybe I should have just made the video today on just that. I don't know. See, right now signs tell me that I am not ready to go out tonight to the concrete jungle. I am backed up on crap still. That's the thing. But we're still going to try to make it happen. We're going to try to. We'll see how that goes. Okay. Sheet aluminum. A little bit of stuff right there, whatever that thing is. All right. This is all sheet aluminum. We got a spot for that right back here. This is all garbage. I don't want these totes. It's all gonna get tossed. Keep that one though. Oh. Boom. There's our next round of scraps. Yeah, we're roughly going on 2 hours of footage already. I got to take me a quick break and we're going to get back and we're going to tackle this trash can and these light fixtures. That's all I have time for at the workbench. Then we got to go out and go get more.